So you performed at 11 a.m. and describe your act. What did you do?
Well, I tell you what. Let me read this review.
Oh, okay.
Because it's described in there. I hate this guy. His name is, he's a children's theater critic.
Very popular section of the newspaper.
Everything you say is mean. His name is Guy Lachance.
Guy Lachance.
Guy Lachance, did I stutter?
Merely repeating it so people can understand it a little better.
Is this show for parrots? Some people know what I'm talking about. Parents would like to listen to a show where things are repeated over and over again.
You really covered the room in that.
I did. It's what they're famous for.
You're like a sprinkler of comedy all across.
Oh, you're really on fire today.
I need that sprinkler of comedy. Dousing everything, dampening it.
I'm tuning you out. Okay, here's what this no-talent hack wrote about my show. On Thursday, I had the great misfortune to attend one of the most horrifically irresponsible attempts at children's entertainment I have ever seen in a long career of reviewing the arts. That's the beginning. Why did he bother going on and writing the rest of the thing?
Well, he has to let people know who you are.
And boy, does he in the next paragraph. Big Chunky Bubbles, real name Petey Amin. Why does he have to do that? An American bubble artist, and please know I use the word artist solely as an occupational descriptor and not as a term of respect. What did I ever do to this guy?
A shitty performance?
Hey! It's not for, they should get a kid to review the show. He spent a good 5 to 7 minutes at the beginning of his performance telling the children, put performance in quotes, how do you like that? Telling the children to be quiet and pay attention using broken French and German. Now look, I was trying to be respectful because I'm in a foreign country, and a big part of my show is getting the kids to shut up and settle down. So I was saying things like, ferme the bouche, right? And then I was saying, Achtung, because I don't know. It's European.
Because I don't know.
I'm trying here, man.
Okay.
When the children will not respond in a manner he deemed timely, Mr. Bubbles turned his back to his audience of 6-year-olds and pouted, now you get the Miles Davis treatment. Now look, that's true, and I stand by it. It's a very effective tactic to get kids to pay attention.
What is the Miles Davis treatment?
I turn my back and I do my act, and the kids can't see it. He then presumably made some bubbles from a hot tureen of New England clam chowder. I say presumably as I only caught the merest glimpse of steaming bubbles rising just above Mr. Bubbles' head. By the way, he keeps calling me Mr. Bubbles. He's going to get sued by the bubble bath maker.
That's
if it's still a thing. I don't know if Mr. Bubble is still a thing or not. I hope it is, and I hope they sue the pants off Guy Lachance.
Seems like they would sue you.
Yeah. Steaming bubbles rising. I don't call myself Mr. Bubbles. I'm Big Chunky Bubbles. Anyway, I only got the merest glimpse of steaming bubbles rising just above Mr. Bubbles' head before they popped and sprayed him with a scalding soup, causing him to swear in a fashion not unlike that of a cartoon dog. You know what drives me crazy? Guys who write things like, not unlike. What are you talking? Just say it's like something. Why do I have to do all that reading work?
It's like 6 extra letters.
Yeah,
5.
You're on my side now.
Yeah, but you were swearing like a cartoon dog?
Look, it hurts to get sprayed with hot clam chowder.
Do you also have bits of clam and is it New England or is it?
I believe it's New England clam chowder.
Okay. Do you have bits of clam that fall on you when you perform?
Maybe. I don't know.
You don't spend the entire after show picking out chunks of food off of you?
It's not like a landmine went off. You just take a towel and wipe it off your face. What do you think? I got clam shells sticking out of my cheekbone?
I don't know.
Maybe you don't know much about chowder is the problem. He goes on. The foul language served as the high point of Mr. Bubbles' set. Hearing the laughter of the children, the gentleman turned around to face his audience, grumbling, "Oh, look who's paying attention now." That's not what I said.
What did you say?
I said, "Oh, now you're paying attention." He then told the children they should feel very grateful to be seeing what was to come next, a special treat just for the children of Montreal, even though they, quote, don't deserve any special treats after their rude and immature attitudes, end quote. I did say that. At this point, Mr. Bubbles removed the cover from a saucepan, a great cloud of steam rising up from its contents, and momentarily blinding him. More cartoon cursing briefly ensued. When he regained what passed for his composure, Mr. Bubbles announced he would now, for the first time, make bubbles from poutine gravy. When the children, rightfully, seemed underwhelmed, well, they should talk to this audience. Mr. Bubbles lectured them on the laborious process of extracting the cheese curds from the gravy to achieve the purest bubble, and how he wasn't even able to eat the French fries because of doctor's orders, so that's that food wasted.
Why did you have to go into such detail? You could have just blown the bubbles.
It's called stage patter. You think David Copperfield's just like, oh, I made the Statue of Liberty disappear. Sorry, I didn't give you any warning. He has a whole thing about America and liberty and such.
Stage patter is what pads the show to make it longer.
I wish I had the time to properly educate you on the art of performing, but I don't.
I could use it.
What do you mean it makes the show? So you think like somebody in Las Vegas doing a Vegas act without the talking, they would just rush right through, the act would be 5 minutes long?
Yeah, it'd be like 5 minutes long. They do 5 tricks. No dancing. Do you do dancing when you're like, are you up there dancing around with the...
I mean, if the bubbles burst on my face, I move around quite a bit. Mr. Bubbles then, to his credit, proceeded to create one impossibly perfect and somewhat chunky poutine bubble. It was very chunky. It glistened, large and opaque in the sunlight streaming through the sitting room window before bursting in Mr. Bubbles' eyes, causing him to scream and kick over the large pot of gravy. It rolled like an ocean of lava at the children, who ran screaming from the oncoming tide of scalding meat leavings. 2 children were burned badly enough on the soles of their feet that a trip to the hospital was considered, but thankfully deemed unnecessary. I gathered up my things. Oh, he inserts himself in the narrative. I gathered up my things and left, overhearing on my way out the beginnings of what I have no doubt ended up being a protracted argument about payment. It wasn't that long.
How long exactly did you argue with the
It was 2 exchanges, and then eventually I realized I wasn't going to get paid. It is, here, he winds it up. Wait till you get a load of this. It is this reviewer's opinion that Mr. Chunky Bubbles leave the entertainment industry and find some occupation more suited to his talents and temperament, such as murder victim. Well, that's a threat. He just threatened me. He said I should get a job as a murder victim.
It's the kind of job you can only do once, so I hope you get paid well for it.
Exactly.